If we are trying to fix a stripper squat where we're sitting in the hole and then as we come up, the hips shoot way back and then we have to do a shitty good morning to stand up, everyone is going to say, you got to get stronger quads. Your hips are shooting back because your quads are too weak. And I would definitely say that they are not entirely right. And most of the time, the lifter is going to be better off building their hips and hamstrings. And part of that is because if we think about this, it's like if we're down here and we're loading into the quads and our quads are pushing and then we're shooting back as soon as we kind of get to that mid-range transition, our quads are still supporting us up until about here. And that's where adductor magnus loses leverage, and that's where the leverage transfer gets put to the hips and hamstrings, and we get this roundy, shitty to get up to the top. It's not the quads. The issue is the hamstrings are yielding to the quads, and that is causing the hips to shoot back. If the hamstrings were strong enough, so just bear with me, let's back up for a second. So let's think about this. When we extend the knee, the hamstring insertion is going to get pulled away from the origin. Now, if the hamstring doesn't lengthen or if the hamstring shortens with knee extension, the hamstring is going to pull the hip through. So it's like as the knee straightens, the ham is going to pull the hip through. So if we're in the bottom and if we're coming up to here, what we need to happen is as we're going up to here, the hamstring then needs to shorten to allow us to stand up with the hips in one smooth motion. If we're here and we get to this point where the adductor magnus loses leverage and the hamstrings then lengthen, the hips are going to shoot back and we're going to have that roundy shitty come back up to the top. Now, everyone wants to say that do front squats to fix this because the front squats will build your quads. And I do agree that front squats are a solution for the stripper squat, but that's not because the front squats are building our quads. It's because if we're in a front squat, we will get punished if we do this because we're going to lose the bar. So the front squat forces us to pattern a squat where we are driving up rather than driving up then dumping forward. Now, on the flip side of that, what is different than a stripper squat is what I would describe as a good morning squat, where the guy is squatting way, way back, no knee travel at all, and they're just down here, and then they're coming up, and they're totally unable to get into their quads. That would be a situation where I say, yes, you will absolutely be benefited by doing some direct quad work to allow you access to the knee. But if the problem we're trying to solve is hips shooting back once we're already coming out of the hole, that's not a quad issue, that's a hip hamstring issue, and we need to train hip hamstrings. And then we need to pattern a squat groove that forces us to not shoot back. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna make them do a front squat, we're gonna make them do no hand SSBs to help pattern that squat. At the same time, we're gonna get them to bang out glute ham raises and Nordic curls, and they're probably not gonna be able to do a real Nordic at first. So what we're gonna do is we're either going to put something in front of them, preferably. I'd way rather have something in front of them to block the range of motion on a Nordic than have them do a reverse band or have them do the push-up. But we're either going to block something in front of them so that they could do a partial Nordic then curl themselves back up, or they're going to do a reverse band Nordic, or they're going to do like a west side inverse curl, just something to build up those hams. Because if we get those hamstrings stronger, those hamstrings are not going to yield to the quads, and then the hamstrings will help pull the hips through up to the top. So guys, fix your stripper squats. You're going to fix them by training the shit out of your hamstrings and doing some front squats. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you got something out of that. Don't be afraid of training, guys. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. Peace.